The observation deck of the Celestial Harmony hummed with the nervous energy of first contact. Anya stood at the far end of the transparent aluminum viewport, her silhouette barely visible against the star-scattered void beyond. The delegation from the Zilthar Consortium had arrived 20 minutes ago, their biomechanical forms gliding through the airlock with unsettling grace. Leo watched from the command station, his fingers dancing across the holographic interface. As the human liaison officer, he'd spent 3 months preparing for this moment, the first formal meeting between humanity and the oldest spacefaring civilization in the known galaxy. The Zilthar had explored the cosmos for over 50,000 years, their technology so advanced it bordered on incomprehensible. Commander Leo, the lead Zilthar diplomat, transmitted through the universal translator, its voice a melodic cascade of harmonics. "We are honored to finally meet the species that has caused such disruption in our understanding." Leo forced a diplomatic smile. "The honor is ours, Ambassador Vekthal. We hope this meeting will foster mutual understanding between our peoples." The 7 Zilthar delegates moved in perfect synchronization, their crystalline exoskeletons refracting the soft blue lighting of the observation deck. They were magnificent, 3 meters tall, with bodies that seemed to phase between solid matter and pure energy. Each one represented a different member race of their vast consortium, species that had merged their consciousnesses into a collective network spanning thousands of worlds. "We have observed your species for 3 of your cycles," Vekthal continued, its optical sensors sweeping the room. "Your technology is primitive, yet you have achieved interstellar travel. Your lifespans are fleeting, yet you have built monuments that will outlast stars. You are paradoxical." "We're adaptable," Leo replied carefully, noting how the Zilthar seemed to avoid looking directly at Anya's position. "It's one of our defining characteristics." "Indeed," Vekthal's form shimmered, "but there is one human we have observed with particular interest, one who defies our comprehension entirely." Leo's stomach tightened. This was the moment he'd been dreading. "Ambassador Anya," Vekthal called out, its voice dropping to a frequency that made the deck plates vibrate. "We know what you are. We have scanned this vessel with instruments that can map quantum states across dimensional barriers. We have analyzed your biosignature from 7 different spectrums. Please, step into the light." Anya remained motionless at the viewport, her back still turned to the delegation. "Don't," she said softly, her voice carrying an undertone that made even Leo's spine tingle. "Don't look there. I'm not human." The Zilthar delegates froze, their coordinated movements suddenly disrupted. For beings that shared a collective consciousness spanning light years, individual fear was supposed to be impossible. Yet Leo could see it in the way their forms flickered, how their crystalline surfaces began to dim. "That's not possible," Vekthal transmitted, though its voice had lost all musical quality. "Your genetic structure matches Homo sapiens perfectly. You were born on Earth in the city called Mumbai 28 standard years ago. Your parents were Dr. Rajesh Sharma and Professor Kavita Sharma. You have a brother named—" "I know who I was supposed to be," Anya interrupted, finally turning around. Leo had seen her face 1,000 times. They'd trained together, eaten together, shared jokes during the long voyage to this rendezvous point. But in this moment, under the scrutiny of beings who could perceive reality in ways humans couldn't even imagine, Anya looked different. Not changed, just revealed. "Then explain," Vekthal demanded, its form solidifying as if bracing for impact. "Explain why you appear perfectly human in every measurable way, yet when we observe you through quantum entanglement sensors, we see." "What do you see?" Anya asked, taking a step forward. The deck lights seemed to bend around her, creating shadows that fell at impossible angles. The 7 Zilthar delegates moved backward in perfect unison, their collective consciousness clearly struggling with what they perceived. "We see everything," Vekthal whispered, "and nothing simultaneously." Leo's training kicked in. Ambassador, perhaps we should take a moment to— No, Anya's voice cut through his attempt at diplomacy. They came here looking for truth. Let them have it. She walked toward the center of the observation deck, each footstep echoing with a sound that seemed to come from far away and very close at the same time. The Zilthar's sensors must have been going haywire because their forms began to flicker rapidly, cycling through different states of matter. Your consortium has existed for 50,000 years, Anya said, her dark eyes reflecting starlight that wasn't there. In all that time, you've encountered 17,000 distinct species. You've mapped 4 galaxies. You've witnessed the birth and death of civilizations. And yet, you've never encountered anything like humans, have you? Your species is young, Vekthel responded defensively. Barely 10,000 years of recorded history. You should not have achieved what you have. The mathematical probability of your technological advancement curve is impossible. Anya smiled, and Leo saw something in that expression that made his breath catch. Yes, we know. Anja, Leo said carefully, what are you doing? She glanced at him, and for a moment he saw his friend and colleague. Then she looked back at the Zilthar, and that familiar face became something else, a mask over depths he'd never suspected. Do you want to know the real reason humans are paradoxical? Anya asked the delegation. It's not because we're special. It's because we're impossible. Every human being alive today, every human who has ever lived, shouldn't exist according to the fundamental laws of the universe. The Zilthar's collective consciousness seemed to fracture. Several delegates began transmitting in their native languages, bypassing the universal translator entirely. Leo could hear panic in those alien sounds. 3 million years ago, Anya continued, her voice taking on a layered quality as if multiple versions of her were speaking simultaneously, there was a species on Earth that was going to die out. They were close to extinction, environmental pressure, genetic bottlenecks, competing predators. The universe had decided their evolutionary dead end, but something intervened. What intervened? Vekthel asked, though its form had become almost transparent with what Leo could only interpret as terror. Us, Anya said simply. Or rather, what we would become. Humanity didn't evolve naturally, Ambassador. We were edited, modified, uplifted by something that operated outside of causality, something that reached backward through time and altered our ancestors' genetic code to ensure we would survive, to ensure we would thrive. Leo felt the deck shift beneath his feet. That's impossible. Time travel causality violations are impossible for species that exist within the normal flow of cause and effect, Anya agreed. But humans don't. Not entirely. Every human carries within them an echo of what we will become. That's why we seem paradoxical to advanced civilizations. That's why our technology advances in bursts of inexplicable intuition. That's why we create art that moves alien hearts and mathematics that describes realities we've never visited. She turned to face the viewport again, and Leo saw her reflection in the transparent aluminum. For just a moment, her reflection didn't match her body. It showed something vast, something that stretched across dimensions he couldn't perceive. I'm not human, Anya repeated, her earlier warning finally making sense. But I am what humanity becomes. I'm an echo of your future, Ambassadors. I exist in your present because my ancestors, my human ancestors, will one day transcend time itself. And when they do, they'll reach back and ensure their own existence. A perfect causality loop. The Zilthar delegation stood frozen, their ancient consciousness confronting a truth that shattered their understanding of temporal mechanics. How many of you are there? Vekthel finally asked, its voice small. Anya's smile was sad. On this ship, just me. On Earth, maybe a dozen. We're rare echoes that manifest strongly enough to maintain physical form. Most humans carry just a trace, enough to give them flashes of inspiration or impossible luck. But all of humanity shares the same origin. All of us are both the cause and the effect. Leo sank into a chair, his mind reeling. Why didn't you tell us? Would you have believed me? Anya asked gently, turning back to face him with her familiar features. Would any human believe their living proof of temporal bootstrap paradox, that their entire species is an ontological impossibility that wills itself into existence? The Zilthar began to retreat toward the airlock, their collective consciousness clearly overwhelmed. Wait, Leo called out, finding his voice. You came here seeking understanding. Is this not the answer you wanted? Vekthel paused at the threshold. Commander Leo, we have explored the cosmos for 50,000 years. We have seen wonders that would break lesser minds, but we have never encountered a species that is simultaneously the alpha and omega of their own existence. Humanity doesn't just defy probability, you defy causality itself. You are walking proof that the universe can be edited, rewritten, transcended. And that frightens you, Anya observed. Yes, Vekthel admitted. Because if humanity can become what you claim, then the universe is not fixed. Reality itself is negotiable. Everything we think we know could be unmade by a species that learns to edit their own timeline. As the Zilthar delegation departed, Leo moved to stand beside Anya at the viewport. They watched the alien ship detach from the celestial harmony and vanish into the void. Did that really just happen? Leo asked quietly. Does it matter? Anya replied. Today, tomorrow, 3 million years ago, it's all the same moment when you exist outside linear time. Are you really from the future? She looked at him, and in her eyes Leo saw depths of time and possibility. I'm from a future that won't exist unless humanity survives to create it. That's why I'm here, Leo. That's why any of us are here. We're insurance, echoes sent back to make sure the song gets sung. As stars wheeled past the viewport, Leo understood. Humanity wasn't just reaching for the stars. They were reaching backward through time, pulling themselves up by their own bootstraps, willing themselves into existence through sheer, impossible determination. And somehow, that was the most human thing he'd ever heard. So what now? He asked. Anya smiled. Now, we continue. We build, we explore, we create. We become what we've always been destined to become, what we've already become. The universe thought it could edit us out, but we edited ourselves back in. In the observation deck of the celestial harmony, surrounded by the infinite dark, two humans stood and contemplated the impossible truth of their own existence. And somewhere, somewhen, their descendants reached backward through causality and smiled. Humanity, fuck yeah. The end.